Well, Mark, back to winning ways last week. You must have been pleased with the performance against a tough opposition in what looked like pretty tough conditions from a couple of things. Pitch not too great, big crowd, hostile atmosphere, etc. You must have been pleased with the performance and the result.
Definitely pleased with the performance because we executed a plan during the week with the staff to, expose their weaknesses, and we did that pretty well. It was really disappointing to turn up to that facility and see the pitch in the state that it was. And from my perspective, we tried to obviously take all that attention off the pitch and that, but it was really disappointing that an A-League game had to be played on that type of surface, and it's not fair for the girls, and not fair for A-League and women in general. So I'm not sure if that's going to be rectified, but that pitch wasn't very good at all. But we played to our best. We literally just stuck to our guns, and we created a lot of chances. Carly probably should have had a couple. Hannah probably should have had one. Kiwi should have probably had one or two as well. So stuck to the plan, got the result, and got in, got out as happy as we were.
We talked a bit last week about the sort of reverting back to the more natural-looking 4-3-3 with Hannah in the middle, Chloe dropping back into midfield. We obviously saw that for the full 90. They linked up with that initial chance that Hannah had a minute before the opener. How pleased were you with how that looked?
Yeah, definitely pleased. That was a build over the last 5 weeks. It wasn't something that we could have done straight away just because of some limitations from an injury perspective and a conditioning perspective that they had. But we saw signs of that quality, and that's only going to get better and better as the weeks go on. So, we'll move a few things around again this week. That won't be a surprise to a few people, but we'll definitely make sure that we put our best foot forward every single game that we play, and just put the best team out for that game against that opponent.
Julie Sardo came back in. She's 5 games. She's almost sort of checkerboarded her appearances so far.
Yep.
Started back on the bench. Started again. Thought she was really good, and I'm sure we've spoken a bit about the depth as well. You must be pleased with someone like her who can come in and play a real big role in a win.
She was unbelievable. I think she had the most the most interceptions in the competition for the weekend. I think she was up there with the most passes, and she was excellent. She has been building on this. She had a really good pre-season. Got a little knock in the first couple of weeks. Couldn't get on the pitch, but I believe in Jules and believed in her ever since she's been a kid, and she's someone that can definitely have an impact at this level. But she was huge for us on the weekend. I think Brisbane were attacking that side. I think 73% of the time was in that side. So she did a really good job to not only not let her opponent get on top of her, but also get the clean sheet as well. So she was pretty big in that. But Lucy was another one for us. Lucy had a debut, and pleased for her to come out and have a really good performance. She'll continue to string on minutes, and she'll continue to build minutes. But that was her first game in the A-League as a start. So it was a good start, and we're happy with her too.
Hillary back into the lineup for the first time, keeping a clean sheet, first clean sheet of the season. How's she come back in? Obviously, it's a bit difficult when you go through the Australia-America season, I guess, as she's done. Sort of been a bit non-stop for her, but obviously coming back with a good performance and a clean sheet as well.
Yeah, she came off a couple of months in, obviously in the US, but not playing a lot. So, we need to manage her time and make sure that she's getting match fit here, and that's why we took a few weeks to ease her in, because Alyssa was also doing a good job as well. So from our perspective, the first 4 games, we were pretty happy with the way Alyssa was going, and she's still young and developing as well. So to have Hillary back in, supporting her, working with her, is only going to make the 2 of them better. But definitely having Hillary part of that and getting our first clean sheet this year was huge. She was a goalkeeper of the year last year, so she's, I would say she's probably the best goalkeeper in the league, along with Alyssa, the 2 of them.
I love it. Wanderers, obviously we had 2 real tough games against them last year, both 2-1, I think, a loss and a win. Obviously since then, a few changes in personnel, changing coach as well. What have you seen from them? I guess what have you taken away from the games last season, from what you've seen from them so far this season? And I'm sure you'll be preaching no complacency against the bottom team.
Yeah, I think when we came up against them last year, it was a very similar situation where they hadn't. I think they might have only won or drawn a game as well. So They're a good opponent. The coach, I know the coach is well organised. He'll have his team organised. They had a really good game last week against City. I think it was only 3-4 or 4, whatever it was. A really tight game as well, 3-2. So they can score as well. They got some decent players on the pitch, but as I say, every single week we'll just focus on us. We prepared pretty well today, and we'll have our last session in tomorrow. But we'll definitely just focus on our game. But obviously look at their weaknesses and try and expose that where we can.
Just the last one, I don't think I've asked you this yet this season. The home crowd, the couple of games we've had at City Vista has been fantastic, as it was last year. I don't know off the top of my head exactly how many games we've played at City Vista, but I know we've only lost one of them. How great is that for you to see the support for women's football, the support for obviously Western United and the women's team, and how much of a boost is that to the team when we play at home?
Yeah, like the crowd is so close at City Vista, and it feels like they're literally on top of you. So to have so many family and friends and local people come and watch the girls week in, week out it's not only important for our girls or for our club, it's just important for the game in general. So, to see some faces at the game that, probably would not have come previously is obviously great, and it's due to the World Cup and the success. And we just hope that every single week that gets better and more people come. So, this week's a good week for us, and hopefully we get a lot of people out there and support us. I know that as many of my family members will be there, and hopefully a lot of our players will be there as well, but their families will be there as well. So, I think 2,000 people, 2,500 people would be fantastic for us this weekend. Try and break a record at City Vista if we could. But yeah, definitely the crowd is huge for us, and City Vista's been good to us and good for us. We've had some really good wins there as well.